Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text 11. Yeah, if anyone needs to go first, please raise your hand. Chapter 12, text 11. Yes, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अथैतदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं योगम् आश्रिता सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Arunita.
अथादपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलं फलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Hare Krishna. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
अथैतत् अपि अशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रिता सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this conscious of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. So we'll go in order. Inba. Inia.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अतैव सप्तोषि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Inia.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yes, Jai Shri Mataji and Jai Ganesh Babu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अतैतदप्यसक्तोषि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation. All glories to Srila. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Mataji.
She's not here, Mataji.
Okay. Isha.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि
Shaktosi.
कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Krishna Shish.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Madhava.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Rasapriya.
अथैतदप्यसक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Okay. Sonia Mataji is here. No. Okay. Then Usha Mataji and Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ataitat api asaktosi kartum mat yogamasritaha sarva karma phalatyagam tata kuru yatatmavam. One translation. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Meda will be back in 5 minutes, Mataji.
Okay. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Abhyase ape asmarthosi matkarma param.
Athaitad.
Which?
11.
Okay. Sorry, Mataji.
No problem.
Yeah. Athaitad api asaktosi kartum. Sorry, Mataji.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
अथैतदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः फलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yeah, Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ateitat api asoktosti kartum mad yogam asritaha sarvakarma phalatyagam tata kuru yadatmavan. Translation. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yeah. Saujanya Mataji is finished, right? So everyone is done, right? Okay. I'll also recite. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, text 11. Athaitad apyashaktosi kartum madyogamashitaha sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to act in this consciousness of me, then just try to act by giving up all, no, just try to act giving up all results of your work and thus be situated, then thus be self-situated and try to be self-situated. Jai Shri Mataji is here.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Vinod Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ataitatapi asaktoshi kartum madhyogam ashritaha sarvakarma phalatyagam tatakuru yatat mavan. Translation. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 18. Okay. So we read yesterday that King Yayati, after ruling the earth and also enjoying his senses by regaining his youth, he regained his youth by exchanging it with his old age with his son Puru. And after this, he started ruling the whole planet Earth and also fulfilling, enjoying his senses. Then, in spite of enjoying so much, he felt that he was not getting satiated. He was not getting that satisfaction that, yes, I have, enjoyed, right? He was not getting that satisfaction, that satiation. And finally, he even got disgusted. And then, in that state, he speaks to his wife Devyani. It is also said that Devyani was serving her husband or giving him the highest transcendental pleasure by her services. So King Yayati speaks to his wife Devyani and says that um, there is another person like me, and I'm going to tell you that person's the history of that person's life. By hearing this, those who have left home, the Vanaprasthas or Vanavasis, thinking about their householder life, they will lament. So what does that mean? King Yayati is going to tell the story of a householder whose life is just like his own life. Actually, he's going to tell his own life in the form of an example. But by hearing this, those who were once householders, now they have renounced. But when they hear this story, they will lament, oh, how much time I have wasted in my household life, running after fulfilling lusty desires. Then King Yayati began his narration that there was once a he-goat, and he was wandering in the forest looking for sense gratification. And then he found a she-goat in a well. So there Srila Prabhupada explained, what does this mean? The he-goat is a man who is always looking for some sense gratification to fulfill his material desires. And the she-goat is a woman who does not have a husband. And a woman who does not have a husband is always unprotected, and until and unless she gets a husband, she cannot be happy. So she's always protected by a male. Until she gets a husband, she must be under the care of her father, and it is the duty of the father to find a suitable husband for his daughter. And if in the absence of a father, a man, until and unless a man comes forward and takes charge of a woman's life, giving her protection, she cannot be happy. Or in the absence of a father, another man can find a suitable husband for a woman. So under these circumstances, only a woman can become happy. So that's what we understood from the purport with this analogy of she-goat and he-goat. So we'll continue reading now. Text 4. So text 3 said, while wandering in the forest, eating to satisfy his senses, a he-goat by chance approached a well in which he saw a she-goat standing helplessly, having fallen into it by the influence of the results of fruitive activities. Text 4. So Krishna Shish. Isha was the last person to read yesterday. Oh, Tasya uddharanopayam bastah kami vichintayan vyadhattat tirtham uddhritya visharnagrena rodasi.
After planning how to get the she-goat out of the well, the lusty he-goat dug up the earth on the well's edge with the point of his horns in such a way that she was able to come out very easily.
Yes, this is explained by His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj, because when we discussed, we did not, we didn't read this part. It doesn't come there. But when King Yayati came to that well and saw Devyani in the well, the way he pulled her out was with his sword, or with by some means, he actually dug up the earth. That means the well, right? The wall of the well is so high. So he dug up the earth to make it lower so that it will be easier for Devyani to climb out of the well, like that. So it is said here. So what did this he goat do? When the he goat saw the she goat helplessly fallen in the well, he planned, right, how to get the she goat out of the well. After planning how to get the she goat out of the well, the lusty he goat dug up the earth on the well's edge with the point of his horns. So here King Yayati is telling the story this way, that the he goat dug up the earth with his horns in such a way that the she goat was able to come out very easily. Madhava.
Jackson for women is the impetus for economic development. Housing and many other things meant for living comfortably in this material world. Digging up the earth to make a way out for the sea goat was a laborious task. But before accepting the he goat underwent this labor. Aho
Kshetra sutapta vittair janasya mohoyam aham mameti.
The union between male and female provides the impetus for gaining a nice apartment, a good income, children, and friends. Thus one becomes entangled in this material world.
Yes. So first of all, this goat, he goat saw the she goat. And here it is said that, of course, this is King Yayati telling the story. And what is his state of mind at this time? He's disgusted with his, I don't have, he's disgusted with his life of sense gratification. So he's narrating his own story by giving the analogy of a goat. So he's saying this goat, out of lust, because of lust, he tried to get this she goat out. Of course, that was not the case, right? We already discussed that. In King Yayati's case, it's not that out of lust he helped Devyani out. It was not at all the case. In fact, he was telling her to marry someone else, a Brahmana. She was begging him to marry, and he said, no, 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 this is not right. It is not according to Dharma. So, but now Yayati is saying this, being disgusted with his, with himself. So he's saying here that this he goat, being lusty for the she goat, how much hard work he has to do. That means, the highest in material calculation, the highest pleasure is the pleasure of is sex pleasure, the pleasure obtained by the union of male and female in material calculation. This is the highest pleasure. But are you going to get this easily? You have to pay a big price to get this pleasure. And besides, that pleasure is not long lasting also. It's very flickering. But the price that you pay is very big. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying, let's read, read the purport again. Quoting this verse, Aho Griha means house, Kshetra means land, right? Field, agricultural field, like that. Griha, Kshetra, Suta means your children, Apta, Apta means your relatives, Vittair, Vitta means wealth, right? Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Jana, right? Your neighbors, friends. So, mohoyam, out of illusion, he considers all this. Griha, Kshetra, Suta, Apta, Vittai, Jana. All this he considers, he considers it to be his, right? Aho Griha Kshetra Sutapta Vittai Janasya Mohoyam. Under the influence of illusion, moha, he considers that this is me and all this is mine. So, before accepting the she-goat, the he-goat underwent this labor. He had to dig up the earth. He had to do labor, hard labor. In order to get that sense pleasure, he had to work so hard. The union between male and female provides the impetus for gaining a nice apartment. So, when you want this type of pleasure, in civilized society, this pleasure between male and female is only possible after marriage. You have to take the responsibility. Both male and female have to take responsibility. Male takes the responsibility to provide for the female, and the female also takes responsibility to remain faithful, right? To follow her husband and cooperate with him in raising the family, like this. So, just because one is attracted to this pleasure, how much one has to suffer. So, if you are thinking of marriage, you have to consider so many things. So, when you get married, you need to have a house or an apartment, you need to have a job. Of course, nowadays the lifestyle is different, you just get a job. But otherwise, traditionally, if you want to get married, you need to have a source of income. So you need land where you can grow your food. You need a cow, because without cow, how will you, when you get married, you'll get children. How will you feed the children? They need milk. Children need milk. So you need to have a cow. You need to have land. You need to have a home. How much you have to work to acquire all these things. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. That why all this hard work? Simply for the union between male and female. But because one is so much enamored by this, right? By this attraction between male and female, then in order to get that, he's willing to work, right? Work hard so that he can get a nice apartment. And of course, what to speak of after apartment, then all the furniture that comes and so on and so forth. Now, to pay for the apartment, you need a good source of income. So you need a job, maybe 2 jobs, work hard. And then you want children. And then you need a community. A family cannot live on their own. They need other families, a community, like this. And he works hard for all these things. Where did it all start? It started with that attraction for union between male and female. And what is the result of this attraction? One becomes entangled. One becomes entangled. One thing leads to another, and soon before you realize you're completely tied up, hands and legs are all tied up. You are entangled in this material world. Okay, so King Yayati is saying, after planning how to get the she goat out of the well, the lusty he goat dug up the earth on the well's edge with the point of his horns in such a way that she was able to come out very easily. Next. Rasapriya. सोत्तीर्यकूपात् शुश्रोणि तम एवाचकमे किला तयावृतं समुद्वीक्ष्य बह्व्योजाः कान्तकामिनीः पीवानं श्मश्रुलं प्रेष्ठं मीढ्वांसं याभकोविदं स एको जवृषस्तासां बह्वीनां रतिवर्धनः रेमे कामग्रहग्रस्ता आत्मानं नावबुध्यता. Yes, Rasapriya.
When the she-goat, who had very nice hips, got out of the well and saw the very handsome he-goat, she desired to accept him as her husband. Once he did so, many other she-goats also desired him as their husband, because he had a very beautiful bodily structure and a nice mustache and beard, and was expert in discharging semen and in the art of sexual intercourse. Therefore, just as a person haunted by a ghost exhibits madness, the best of the he-goats, attracted by many she-goats, engaged in erotic activities and naturally forgot his real business of self-realization.
Yeah. So, Srimad Bhagavatam describes things very, very, clearly, that, you get a good picture of what it is, and then you'll really get disgusted with materialistic way of life. So King Yayati is saying, so this she goat came out of the well. How the she goat came out of the well? By the help of this he goat. And she was also very attractive, the she goat. She had very nice hips. She got out of the well and she saw this he goat who was very handsome. And when she came out, she desired to accept this goat as her husband. Now, when she wanted him as her husband, she was not the only one. There were many other she goats who also wanted this he goat as their husband. So the she goat that was helped out of the well was certainly attracted by this male goat. But there were many other female goats that were also attracted to this male goat. Why they were all attracted to him? Because he was a very attractive goat, very handsome. And, goats have this beard. So he had a nice beard and mustache, right? And apart from that, he was very expert in sex with the female. So they were very much attracted to him. Just as a person haunted by a ghost exhibits madness, the best of the he goats, attracted by the many she goats, engaged in erotic activities. So when this he goat saw that so many female goats are attracted to him, so he was like, oh, I am the, best male around here. All these ladies like me. They all want me. And he also started enjoying with all of them. Not just this one she goat that he got attracted to, but all the other ladies who got attracted to him, he started enjoying with all of them. And it was as if he was haunted by a ghost. You know what happens when one is haunted by a ghost? He acts in many crazy ways because he's haunted, right? It's as if someone else is made, not as if, actually, when you're haunted, you are you're controlled by that ghost in you. So that ghost makes you do so many things. So similarly, as if being haunted by ghost, he was just engaging in all sorts of sense gratificatory activities. And he forgot his real business. What is the real business? The real business is self-realization. But he forgot his real business. And he was engaging in all sorts of sense gratificatory activities with these many female goats. Purport. So after Rasapriya, Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Materialists are certainly very much attracted by sexual intercourse. Yena Maitanadi Graha Medhi Sukham Hi Tucham. Although one becomes grahastha or householder to enjoy the sex life to his heart's content, one is never satisfied. Such a lusty materialist is like a goat, for it is said that if goats meant for slaughter get the opportunity, they enjoy sex before being killed. Human beings, however, are meant for self-realization. Tapo divyam putraka yena satvam Suddhayed Yasmad Dhamma Sokyam to sorry Mataji.
It's okay. Tvanantam.
To Anantam. Should I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Human life is meant for realization of self, the spiritual soul within the body. Dehinosmin yatha dehi. A materialistic rascal does not know that he is not the body, but a spiritual soul within the body. However, one should understand his real position and cultivate knowledge by which to get free from bodily entanglement. Like an unfortunate person who acts madly, hunted by ghost, a materialist hunted by the ghost of lust forgets his real business so that he can enjoy so-called happiness in the bodily concept of life.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. So this he goat is acting as if he's haunted by a ghost. What does that mean? So this whole analogy of he goat and she goat is for typical materialistic people in this world. So materialists are, as already explained, the highest pleasure in materialistic way of life is sex pleasure. So materialists are naturally attracted by sex. Yan maithunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham. So such householders who are attracted to sex life are called grihamedis. They are not called grihasthas. Grihamedi. They are attracted to maithuna adi. Maithuna adi. So to sex and the results, the byproducts of sex, children, family, so on and so forth. and the pleasure that comes from this. They are attracted to that. But this sukham, this pleasure is very, very paltry. Tucham. Tucham means very insignificant. But those who are grihamedis, they are attracted to this insignificant pleasure. So the whole reason why a materialist gets married is for this pleasure. The pleasure of sex, and then the pleasure of enjoying children and, so on and so forth. Family life. He wants to enjoy. So the purpose of his entering into a family life is enjoyment. But even though, and then for that enjoyment, hoping to get that enjoyment, he works so hard. He works so hard just to get that pleasure. It is still better if somebody is actually taking the responsibility and working very hard to maintain a family. That is still better. But nowadays, people don't even want to people don't want to make any commitment, right? They don't want to get married, and they simply want to enjoy sex pleasure, and they want to keep changing their partners. So that is very, very abominable, and it's going to give very severe consequences. They'll be going to hell for that type of lifestyle. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji, in the previous earlier slokas, we read and it was explained this way that King Yayati is getting into family life, and why why Puru was not giving gave his youth, but his other son was not giving. So in that explanation was given that it is good to go in grihastha life, so you get all the pleasures, because then you can renounce. Whereas here it is saying that it is abominable, this, that, all those. Then why is it giving us this confusing statement? Because ultimately, if that is the route, because you explained then that many of the brahmacharis fall down because they did not have those pleasures. So what is it that we have to follow? Because this becomes contradictory, a little bit confusing.
So Yadu, the eldest son, when he was asked by his father Yayati to exchange his youth, Yadu said, "No, I won't give." The reason is, his goal is actually ultimately he wants to come to the platform of devotional service. But in order to come to the platform of devotional service, he should actually renounce all sense pleasures. He should renounce sense pleasures. Um, he should renounce sense pleasures. Now, in order to renounce sense pleasures, he must be disgusted with sense pleasures. Artificially, you cannot just renounce. You must be disgusted with sense pleasures. You must see that these pleasures are actually futile. And then, after going through the sense pleasure and seeing exactly what's going on with King Yayati, he tried to enjoy, and he tried to enjoy, and he tried to enjoy, and he's just like, I want more, but I'm not getting satisfied from this type of lifestyle. And finally he got disgusted. So that is what Yadu wanted. He wanted to get disgusted, and then getting disgusted, he wanted to renounce it. But right now, I still think that it is good. So if I am thinking that material pleasure is good, and then if I give up, what will happen? You'll be hankering for it because you think it is good, and what to speak of, it was mine and then it was taken away. Oh, that belongs to me. How you will be able to renounce it? Because you are still attached. So actually both are attachment and detachment. They're two sides of the same coin. Here what Yadu said was that I want to go through this so that I'll get disgusted. And what is being said now is this pleasure is insignificant. There's no difference. It's the same thing. But immaturely, when somebody qualification for somebody to renounce this world, the qualification for someone to renounce this world, that means to take sannyas, is to have full detachment. He should be completely detached. That means he has no attraction whatsoever for sense pleasure. He is detached. Then he is qualified to take sannyas. Now, if somebody is full of material desires, can such a person take sannyas? No, it's not recommended. He should not take sannyas. Why? If somebody is full of material desires and artificially he'll just take sannyas, seeing others, oh, I like saffron cloth, oh, I don't have to work now, I can just take a danda and people will come and bow down before me, and but his heart is not purified. Heart is not purified means there is no detachment in his heart, but externally he's just giving up everything. Is that type of sannyas good? No, it's not good. It's not good. Why? Because you'll become mithyachari. Mithyachari means externally you have accepted sannyas, and in your mind you're always hankering on for those sense objects. What will happen to such a person? He will cheat, because his mind is, in his heart he is still hankering for those things. Then he will hide and he will do those things. Externally he'll be wearing a sannyasi's dress. He will be miserable, and he can even cheat. Or he'll become degraded and he will fall down again. He will come back to karma. Although he has accepted sannyas, he'll come back. That's like eating one's own vomit, it is said. After you have renounced this world, saying that this is, tucham, and then you go back to eat the same thing. It's called eating one's own vomit. It's so abominable. After accepting sannyas, to come back again for sex life, it's very abominable. So, now coming back to your point, what is confusing here? You have to see the qualification. If the person has a certain degree of detachment, then the spiritual master can guide him accordingly. That first you do nishkama karma. Sannyas also, it's not recommended right away. But nishkama, when you do nishkama karma, you are doing work, but with full detachment. Not that nobody will tell that, oh yes, now you can enjoy. No. Anyone who tells you that you can enjoy family life, he is not your friend. Such a person is not your friend. Rather, you do it as a duty. You do it as dharma, because this dharma will purify your heart. That doesn't mean, oh, so we are not supposed to love our family members. No, you should love. But love should be on the right platform. Right? Not that this person gives me sense pleasure, this person is mine and I am, so we will, not like that. On that platform, because it's not going to last anyway. It's a false platform. It will not last. So, it's not confusing. It's about qualification. Somebody is full of material desires. For him also, it's just like, in the scriptures, it is said, all right, you can eat meat with these restrictions, right? On the Amavasya day, you go outside the village and in Goddess Kali's temple, you sacrifice a goat and then you cook that meat and you eat. Once a month you can do. Now, and the scriptures say no meat eating, no intoxication. So it's confusing. You can say, on one hand, the scripture is telling us to eat meat, and on the other hand, the scripture is saying no meat eating. This is contradictory. No, they're both there, but you have to see who is the qualified candidate, who is eligible for what. Someone who is in the mode of ignorance, if you tell him no meat eating, he will just, because it's too much for him, he won't be able to handle it. So then without any restriction, he'll be engaging in meat eating because I cannot handle it. But rather, if you say, yes, you can eat meat, but with these restrictions, then he will do very little, only once a month. Otherwise, like things, the way things are happening now, just go to the store and buy packaged meat and you cook every day, 2 times, 3 times a day, you just eat meat. So then Shastra intelligently tells such a person, you can eat meat, but with all these conditions. So the whole idea of even giving, allowing that, the idea is eventually to bring him to the point of renouncing it. Allowing does not mean, oh, now you can enjoy. Never, never. Shastra is never recommending. Even whenever Shastra gives you that concession, it is with the idea of gradually bringing you to the point of renouncing. That's exactly what King Yadu said. I'm not prepared yet because I have so many desires, but I want to come to the point of renunciation. I want to be disgusted with this materialistic way of life. So therefore, let me have this youth and let me go through this life. And when I get disgusted, then I will give up. So this is what even King Prachina Barhi, Prachina Barhi's sons, Prachina Barhi's, no, not Prachina Barhi, Daksha's sons, right? Daksha, he first set of sons, Haryashvas and then Savalashvas. So his idea was, Daksha's idea was that let my sons go through married life, and then after they go through all this enjoyment, then in their maturity they will realize that this is all futile. Then when they take sannyas, then they will be stable. But Narad Muni has preached them to immaturely, just don't enter into grihastha life, just directly take to sannyas. This is not proper. That was Daksha's argument. But the spiritual master knows who's eligible for what. Haryashvas didn't need to first go through family life in order to get renounced. It's not required. It's not that everyone has to go through family life and enjoy, and then they will come to the point of renunciation. It's not like that, because we are all on our journeys, right? This person who is now directly taking to sannyas without going through family life must have already experienced and learned his lesson in his previous life. So he doesn't need to go through it again now. Like we see in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? Yogis who practice yoga and fall down, or the other ones, those who practice yoga for a long time and then they fall down, they take birth in the family of transcendentalists. And naturally they get attracted to yoga even without seeking it. So in their case, you should not tell them that, no, first you should get married, you should enjoy. No need, no need. Now, how to identify what is each person's qualification? For that, you need a tattvadarshi, a self-realized spiritual master who can see what is the level of advancement of the disciple, and then he will guide them accordingly. So there is no confusion. Is that clear, Mataji? Aditi Lata Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, it is clear. But then I was thinking that um, that people initially, if you see the kids also, they are not interested. They are not interested in family life or anything like that.
because they are pure and they don't have any knowledge about it. But those desires, they come later on, right? Slowly,
Of
slowly it
course,
comes.
of
It is.
course.
You cannot. I mean, you cannot say in the beginning, because earlier days anyway, marriage used to happen much earlier, and at that time those desires will anyway not be there. It only comes later on, slowly, slowly. So
Hmm.
how can you just predict that that person is fit for sannyas or that person is fit for grihastha? In that scenario, isn't grihastha life is better, because then they
No,
can.
even then, Mataji, see, it's a very perfect science actually. You have dvijas, you have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Hmm? So for the dvijas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, it is essential that they should go to Gurukula. At the age of 5, they are all sent to Gurukula. Gurukula means they are not at home. They live in the Guru's ashram. And for several years, they are being trained by Guru. So the Guru can understand what is that disciple's natural inclination, especially Brahmanas. Kshatriyas, of course, they have to go home because they have to rule. Vaishyas also, they go home. So they are trained, and they are not trained like the Brahmanas. The type of education given to the Kshatriyas is different, the type of education given to the Vaishyas is different, to the Brahmanas is different, and this is not based on birth. This is based on his natural quality. How can you tell? The Guru can tell. How he tells? By the samskaras. He is there day and night with that disciple. Yes, what you say, sexual attraction, they won't have when they're children. That is accepted. That is accepted. But it is not that everyone is married when they are young. No, not everyone is married. Especially those who are Brahmanas, and they have this, those who are even in children, right? Actually, when you're young, Shudras don't go to Guru's, Gurukula. And even Vaishyas, so the period, how long they stay in Gurukula also varies, depending on the type of education you're receiving. And the type of education you receive also depends on your nature. So the spiritual master is expert. It is said even today in our Gurukuls, uh, they observe the teacher, the Guru observes the disciple for 6 months. I mean the students, right? They don't decide right away whether this person is a Brahmana Kshatriya. They observe for 6 months. How they know? This is also given in the Shastra, how to recognize. So those who are teachers, gurus, they're trained. They're trained to identify who is who, whether he's a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. And accordingly, he will be trained. And as far as marriage, yeah, so those who are seen as, they'll go home and they have to become kings, yeah, then they'll probably get married at a young age also. Vaishyas also similarly. But in Brahmanas, if someone has this tendency of, staying a brahmachari, then no, it's not that every boy gets married when he's young. No, it's not like that. So again, that's why Guru is important. The Guru will identify. Parents may or may not be able to see that like that. And it's not just based on sexual attraction. Yeah. In fact, that's not the point at all. Especially, as you said, when they are young, what attraction will they have? Still, they are married at that age. Why girls are married? Because girls must get married. They must have that protection. So they are married. And then boys, who are the boys that are married at young age? Uh, those who have responsibilities, in society, as a leader or as a Vaishya or even as a Shudra, they are married. They are married. And even there, the criterion is not sexual attraction. It is dharma. It is always dharma. the society has to run. So there is, you need, just like for the body to function, you need the head, you need arms, you need legs, you need belly. And in society also, you need brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, shudras. And it's not like you just select some people, yes, you'll be brahmana, you'll be, no. People naturally have those tendencies, that nature, because of their past activities. They have developed a certain type of nature. Such people are there in society. So, yeah, not everyone is married when they are young, and that is decided by the guru, whether this person has the tendency to get married or this person can remain a brahmachari. The guru will see. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So yeah, here we are seeing that it's not at all encouraged, right? Simply satisfying lusty desires is not the goal, right? Although one becomes a grihastha to enjoy sex life to his heart's content, right? So the purpose, so if the purpose of getting married is enjoyment, then you will not be. You will just be hankering and just exactly like this. Exactly like that poor animal in the desert. It's hoping that, it's seeing that mirage, there is water there. I'm going to become happy. I'm going to enjoy. And it's running and running and running. And while it's running, what's happening to its body, right? It's just draining its energy, right? It's running and running, no energy left in the body, but there is that hope. I will enjoy that water. I will enjoy. This is called Maya. Maya is very cruel, but we have that choice whether we want to come under Maya or we want to surrender to Krishna. When we surrender to Krishna, then Maya steps back. Maya does not have her jurisdiction on those who surrender to Krishna. But those who don't surrender to Krishna, they come under Maya's grip. And then this race, right? Running after that happiness which does not exist. And what is that happiness that everyone is hankering after? Sex pleasure. And in order to get that enjoyment, that pleasure, one enters into Grihastha ashram. And in Grihastha ashram, he's working so hard just to get that little bit of pleasure. And even that pleasure he doesn't get. And finally he gets frustrated. This is the life of a Grihamedi. So if one is entering into Grihastha ashram thinking that I will get pleasure, you're not going to get pleasure. And whatever little you get, for that you have to work so hard. So this goat, male goat, like one who is haunted by a ghost, is just enjoying, not just with his wife, but with all the other female goats also. Such a lusty materialist is like a goat, right? One who is after sense pleasure. And here it is said grihastha, like married and taken responsibility. Although one becomes a grihastha in order to get some pleasure, he never gets satisfied. And such a lusty materialist is like a goat. Why a goat? A goat is so dull-headed. You know, if there is a bunch of goats to be slaughtered, on one side, one goat is getting slaughtered, and this goat couldn't care less. He's the next one to be taken, and he's peacefully eating grass. Even at that time also, he's not thinking, oh, now it's After that, I will be killed. That goat, he was standing next to me now, and now it's dead. They slaughtered. They're going to kill me. And then, he does it try to run away from there? Does he call, crowd, oh, help me, this guy is going to kill me? No. But if it's a human being, if they're tied up like this, will they silently stand there and allow to be slaughtered? No. So this is the difference between a goat and others. That's why the analogy of goat. A goat is so dull, or you can say so, um, oblivious, and it's in madness, basically. Madness. What type of madness? Like one haunted by ghost, not aware of anything, like oblivious. And what is that? Where is that obliviousness coming from? Because of that desire for sense gratification, whether it is eating grass or Srila Prabhupada is saying, if he got an opportunity, if it's going to be slaughtered, he is next in line for slaughter. And if he gets an opportunity to have sex, he'll go for that. This is the state of consciousness of a goat. So that's why King Yayati is giving the analogy of a goat. A lusty materialist like a goat, for it is said that if goats meant for slaughter get the opportunity, they enjoy sex before being killed. But human beings are not meant to live like goats. Human form of life is meant for self-realization. Rishabdev tells, Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukhyam tvanantam. You should look for not grihamedi sukham hi tucham, right? That sukham gotten by grihamedis is tucham, insignificant. Human form of life is meant for getting brahma saukhyam, get that happiness of Brahman realization or realization of the absolute truth. Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam. It's the opposite of Grihamedi Sukham Tucham, insignificant. Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam, unlimited. The pleasure that you receive, that you get by realizing the Supreme, that pleasure is unlimited. And the pleasure that you get in sex pleasure, that is insignificant. And human form of life is not meant for getting such insignificant pleasure. It is meant for realizing the self and realizing the Supreme Lord. So human life is meant for realizing the spirit soul within the body. Okay, self-realization. But a materialistic rascal does not know that he is not this body, he is a spirit soul within the body. He won't know this. Still, one should understand his real position and cultivate knowledge by which to get free from bodily entanglement. Like an unfortunate person who acts madly haunted by ghosts, a materialist haunted by the ghost of lust. Very clearly, Srila Prabhupada is saying, a materialist. So who is the ghost here? Lust. And who's the goat? A materialist. This goat means a materialist. And what is the ghost that's haunted? Is haunted by ghost. Which is that what is that ghost? Lust. Then anyone who's haunted by lust, he forgets his real business. What is his real business? Self-realization, to realize that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. I'm not meant for simply getting some sense gratification. So that's the purpose of this verse.
Mataji,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes.
Mataji, one point. It is, well, the bigger picture, okay? No, I mean, not bigger picture, but another angle is women or girls are always to be protected. Okay. So, like before marriage by father and then by husband, so they have to get married. And we also read that the population of girls are more than men. So now I'm talking like Lord Brahma and Daksha to Narad Muni that, already we have less population of men, and whatever men we have, you are
Yeah, but then,
brahmachari. What will
but
happen
then,
to our girls?
but then, men have the capacity to maintain more than one. So that solves the problem.
But that is also a problem. So they cannot marry more than one.
They
And
can. They can
I mean,
marry, no? Men can marry.
oh, but they have to maintain. Nowadays, they cannot. That's what established, right, in other previous slokas, that they cannot now in Kali Yuga. First of all, they don't have stamina, they don't have wealth, all those things, right?
They don't have wealth because, yeah, the thing is, so Kali Yuga is a whole different story. Now, if you're quoting Shastra, then if you follow Shastric lifestyle, then everything is possible. But in Kali Yuga means what? That means you're not following Shastra. Then you have created, you dig your own grave and then you blame Shastra. You cannot do that, right? So you live according to Shastric injunctions, then all problems will be solved. More women, no problem. And men taking sannyas also, no problem. Still, everything will be taken care of if you live your life according to Shastric injunctions. Now the problem is created because of not following Shastras, because of vikarma, ugra karma. That's why all the problems are coming. But if we lived in past ages, they lived according to Shastric injunctions and they didn't have any scarcity, right? It's not like women were abandoned because too many women and nobody, it was not like that. All women were married. So that's not a problem. The problem is not
Now,
following.
Kali Yuga, what will we do then? Now they are giving advice that take brahmachari, and then we don't even have good men to get married. All are rascals. So how do we,
Train the
get our...
men. Train the men properly. That's what we have to do. That's really now the only solution is education. We have to bring awareness. We have to educate. By education, their character has to be improved. Our characters have to be improved by education. What type of education? Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, by this education. And then that's why training is for men. Gurukuls are meant for men, not for women or girls. For boys, Gurukul is meant for boys. Why? Because then by going to Gurukul, they will become men of character. And then such men of character, when they marry, the women will be fortunate, they'll get good husbands, and then they'll also produce good citizens, good children, like that. So education is very important. That's the only solution.
And tell them not to get sannyas.
Mataji?
And tell them not to get sannyas, so we have more men.
We say, but it's, you have to be qualified to take sannyas, right? It's not like you tell someone to take sannyas and he'll take. No, for sannyas also you need that. Not many people can take sannyas. It's not possible. Only some few qualified people are able to take. If you see the proportion of total population, how many people are able to actually take, although originally the system is 3/4 of the male population is meant to be in the renounced order. Brahmacharya is renounced, Vanaprastha is renounced, sannyas is also renounced. Only 1/4 of the male population is grihastha. And then they are the ones who are providing for all the women in the entire, and still there is no scarcity if you actually follow the system.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you for your enlivening questions. Okay, so let's read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And so who read last today? Sonia Mataji read, and then Usha Mataji, did you read?
No, Mataji.
You
Tomorrow
didn't.
my turn.
Tomorrow is your turn. Please remember. Okay. Now let's read Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1. Text 21 and 22. Okay, so Arjun, after all the conches are blown, Arjun is telling Krishna, please take my chariot in the middle. Oh well, that's what we are going to read now. Okay, let's just recite. Arjuna uvacha senayorubhayormadhye ratham sthapayamechyuta yavadetan योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे. Arjuna said, O infallible one, oh, we read this already. Anyway, I'll just read. Please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. So we actually read the purport also. I was going to explain Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary because there's Achyuta, right? Significance of Achyuta, and then, okay, just give me 1 second. 21 and 22. Yeah, there's actually no commentary there, not much. Yeah, simple, whatever Srila Prabhupada has given in the purport, that's all. So the conches were blown, and now everyone is ready to shoot arrows. Both sides conches are blown, and now Arjun says, please take my chariot in the middle of both armies. I want to see who are the people that have come here to fight with me, and who are the people who want to support Duryodhan. I want to see them first. So that is what Arjun said. Okay, so he said, Senayor Ubhayor Madhya Ratham Sthapayame Achyuta. So he is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. What is the significance of Achyuta? Yes, that means although you are my chariot driver and I am telling you to, it's like the um, the warrior, he orders the chariot driver, you go here, you know, like a chauffeur, like a driver, right? The master tells the driver, go this way, go that way, take me here, take me there, like that. So Arjun is also appears like he's ordering Krishna, who's playing the role of a chariot driver, take my chariot in the middle of both the armies. But Arjun is telling Krishna, by calling him Achyuta, he's expressing that even though, you know, out of your affection for your devotee, you have taken this role of a chariot driver, of a servant, but actually you are no one's servant, you are the supreme master. You never fall from that position of the supreme master. You are Achyuta, you never fall, and of course you never fail in your affection to your devotees. That's why you have accepted this role of a chariot driver. That means even though you have become my chariot driver, your position as the Supreme Lord is never challenged. Under all circumstances, you are the Supreme Lord and I am your servant, like that. That's the point here. And then the next verse we will see tomorrow. Yeah. So tomorrow's verse will be text 23. I'm just thinking why Srila Prabhupada is explaining Rishikesha in the previous verse. The verse doesn't have, no? सेनयोर उभयोर मध्ये रथम स्थापय मे अच्युता यावदेतान् निरीक्ष्यहं योद्धुकामान् अवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्रे. Okay, so the word Rishikesh is not used, but Srila Prabhupada is just explaining the position of Krishna. He is the Lord, he is the master of the total senses. So like that. Okay, all right. So then we'll also read a little bit of Leelamrita because otherwise we'll lose touch with the subject. Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Okay. So this is another chapter, chapter 17 on the Bhavari. I think we read this already. Someone broke into Srila Prabhupada's room and stole the typewriter, and the janitor said that I saw someone climb in the window. Prabhupada understood it's the janitor himself who stole it, but he didn't have any proof to prove it. So he couldn't say anything. In a letter to India, he described the theft as a loss of more than 1,000 rupees, $157. 1,000 rupees back then had a lot of value. It's a lot of money in those days. It's not like today's 1,000 rupees. It is understood that such crime as has been committed in my room is very common in New York. Srila Prabhupada is writing to India this. It's very common in New York. This is the way of material nature. American people have everything in ample, and the worker gets about rupees 100 as daily wages. Again, 100 rupees is a lot back then. So even a worker gets 100 rupees daily wages, and still there are thieves for want of character. See, character. You have everything still because you don't have character, will steal. The social condition is not very good. Prabhupada had told Joseph Forster, the Scindia ticket agent, that he would be returning to India in a couple of months. That was 7 months ago. Now, for the first time since his arrival, Prabhupada had returned to the Scindia ticket office in Brooklyn. He talked about the theft to Mr. Forster, who responded with, "Welcome to the club." Right? That means, yes, you will see this everywhere in New York. Welcome to the club. To the club of what? To the club of being stolen, right? So everyone has something or the other stolen from him in New York. So welcome to the club. And told Prabhupada about the recent theft of his own automobile. His car got stolen. Such things, he explained, were not unusual for New York City. He told Prabhupada of the dangers of the city and how to avoid thefts and muggings. You know muggings? You don't know? Okay. Mugging means people will just come and demand money from you. And if you don't give money, like whatever you have on you, your purse, if you don't give, then they can either kill you or beat you up and, by force take whatever you have. And even if you don't have anything, they can beat you or they can shoot you. This is mugging, right? Coming and demanding. So he told Prabhupada of the dangers of the city and how to avoid thefts and muggings. Prabhupada listened, shaking his head. He told Mr. Forster that American young people were misguided and confused. He discussed his plans for returning to India and showed Mr. Forster one of his Bhagavatams. Okay, so we'll stop there. Thank you all, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. All of you
Thank you,
have a
Mataji.
wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.